apparently you can make these shapes really easily inside of ZBrush, and today I'm gonna show you how. So first of all, I have my ZBrush opened and I have my character loaded. Today we're gonna be working with this character that you're probably gonna see on my next artwork or something. But the first thing we need to do is, because our character has subdivision levels, we need to actually delete all the subdivision levels. To do so, I'm gonna duplicate my character, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to geometry and I'm gonna hit delete lower as well as delete higher. But before we start, I think we have too much polygons going on. So right now we have 2 million polygons, which is a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to geometry, then I'm gonna go and hit reconstruct subdiv. So we can now go back to, for example, we can hit it twice and then we are back to 128k polys, which is much better. And then we can hit delete higher once again. Cool, now we have this mesh, which is basically 128k polygon mesh, and then we can go to slime bridge, and this is basically what we are gonna be using. First of all, what you need to do to make it work, you need to mask area, and to mask area you need to hit Ctrl on your keyboard, and then it will automatically select mask pen for you. So you need to hit Ctrl and hold it, and then you can draw a mask on your mesh, and then we can hit slime bridge. But before that, let's take a look at the parameters. So we have tension. Tension is a really important one. I'll show you what it does. But basically my favorite tools here are tension and capillaries. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but basically, yeah, tension and capillaries. Branches and bridges, they work, but not necessarily the way they should. So I would not suggest you to focus on these two parameters. You can increase them, you can decrease them. Be careful though. If you go as high as, for example, 10k, it will be loading forever. So be careful with that too. So let's start with the default parameters. First of all, let's get back to 20 branches and let's hit slime bridge. As you can see, it looks really cool. It created those trippy shades that we are after. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also mask an area here, like on the shoulder or something. Let's go, yeah, on the shoulder. And then I'm gonna hit slime bridge again. And as you can see now, the slime bridge, this bridge will basically connect those 2 points, which is really cool. And what we can do now is we can play with tension to see how it actually works. So with the tension 0, it will basically hang. But what we can do is we can increase the tension. And so if we increase the tension, it will basically create a straight line out of these bridges. This looks also cool. You can play with this tension thing, you can create some interesting results. But what else I like is I like capillaries. And basically what capillaries does, it intensifies this effect. So if we go as low as, for example, 1 capillaries and hit slime bridge, it will just create these really straightforward branches. It even looks like 3 branches or something. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase capillaries all the way up, and be careful doing it. Actually, I'm not gonna go all the way up, I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle and I'm gonna hit slime bridge, but be careful. This parameter is a really tricky one. It can really crush your ZBrush if you have low RAM, I guess. It's based on RAM. Yeah, it's based on RAM, so if you have low RAM, it can really crush your ZBrush, so be careful with that. Before that, I'm actually gonna hit quick save, just in case, you know. That's really cool, and you can actually clean this up if you hit Shift F, and then you can basically select all of these branches one by one, and you can delete unnecessary ones. It might take time to select the right ones, but yeah, you can clean this up this way. Also, because it creates different polygroups, because it creates different geometry, it basically changes the topology of our mesh, and so now the figure doesn't have UVs anymore, and that's really something to keep in mind, because now we can't really apply any textures to this mesh. If it had textures, we can't apply them to it. There is a workaround for that, and I'm gonna show you what you can do. So first of all, I'm gonna select all the parts of this character, I'm gonna basically hide them. And as you can see, now we have nothing but the wires itself. So what I'm gonna do now is, because we have our character hidden, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to split and I'm gonna hit split hidden. And this way we have our geometry and we have our branches separated. So if we hit solo, we can see that it is basically separated. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hide everything except our mesh that has these holes and the mesh that we are duplicated this mesh from that doesn't have holes. And I'm gonna go and lower the amount of active points to 128k again. And now what we can do is we can select our mesh without holes, go to project and hit project all. And now the details from this mesh that doesn't has UVs anymore, those details are projected onto the mesh that has UVs, that can be textured and all that cool things. So now if we unhide our wires, as you can see, it's not perfect. You still need to sculpt a bit on this. And so after a couple of minutes of work, you have this, which is basically what we need. We have our mesh with all the UVs that you can texture and all, and then you have your slime bridge that you can separately export and use in your render engine to create some really trippy and cool October, I guess, renders. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Check out my Patreon, I have a lot of tutorials there. Check out my Instagram too. That was me, Leliet, and see you in the next videos. Bye.